Welcome to A Kinder World of Commerce. This is Santa Barbara, and I'm Monica Lynches with my co-host Claudia Rucker, bringing you this month's locally owned and socially responsible business, Market Forays. Welcome, Laurence, to A Kinder World of Commerce. I'm so excited to have you with us. And, we have known each other for a long time through our mutual friend, Holly McKenna. But I really didn't understand what you do for a living until I was able to attend one of your Market Forays. And I knew from the minute that I got to experience you and hear you interact with the fishermen at the fish market down at the harbor about sustainable fishing and eating and cooking, that you were one of those socially responsible businesses. So why don't we start by telling our viewers a little bit about what you do with Market Forays?
Basically, my goal is to demystify cooking, number one, because I find that a lot of people in this country have been told that cooking is difficult, it's complicated, it won't be any good anyway, your kids won't want to eat it, it's a waste of time, and better left to the professionals. And that's not my belief at all. I really believe that cooking and sharing meals with people you love is 3 times a day opportunity for shared happiness. My approach to cooking is very organic, and I don't mean just organically grown vegetables. I mean that it's really simple. You look at the produce, you look at the ingredients, you look at the season and the weather and who's coming to your table, and you create a meal out of all those elements. And it's very intuitive and it's easy in the end. I mean, it is grounded in French techniques, but it incorporates all the diversity and the wonderful multicultural elements of living in California. So the way I do this, when I started Market Forays, and that was in 2007, was we would meet at the harbor on Saturday morning, small groups, 6 to 8 people maximum, and I still keep my classes to that number. And we shop together at the harbor and at the farmers market, and then we come to my home, because I think it's really important to be cooking in a home kitchen rather than in a commercial setting. There's a very different ambiance. And then we sit down to a shared meal. So that was the start of the business. And over the years, it has grown also into private cooking classes, be they just for an individual or for a family or a small corporate group. And then also, I'm just realizing recently that people need help figuring out how to put their kitchen together, designing their kitchen. So not so much, how should your kitchen look, but how should it work? What makes a good kitchen? What do you need in your kitchen as far as the layout and appliances that fit with the way you like to cook? And even if you don't like to cook, you still need a kitchen that's going to fit that. If you're a really busy person and you just want something really streamlined and functional. And I've just realized that I'm really good at that, and helping people come up with, when they're doing a kitchen remodel or building a new home, come up with solutions for the way they live.
Where did your passion for cooking come from?
I don't know where it came from. I was born with it. It's always been a source of wonder to me. I very clearly remember being 3 or 4 years old and going in the garden and picking up the red currants off the bush and eating these little red currants, which are very tart. And I had my milk bottle with me. I was still drinking milk from a baby bottle, and the sweetness of the milk and the tartness of the red currants and that contrast, and going, wow, this is really interesting. And then remembering, being probably in 2nd grade and wondering who invented mayonnaise. You know, we always made our own, and who invented meringues and how are they made? And it just always fascinated me.
I know from personal experience with you that you value kindness and integrity and environmental stewardship and hospitality, but there are three more that I would love for you to talk about, which are mindfulness, openness, and happiness.
The idea with mindfulness is be present, be really actively thinking about what you're doing and what impact it has, not just on your life, but on the life of others. And I don't just mean other humans, I mean other living being, be they animal or vegetal. It really matters. We're not alone on this planet. We are part of a web of life. So if we're buying something that is in season, that was grown by someone who lives in our community, who's part of our community, as opposed to buying peaches in December that were flown in, 4,000 miles from the southern hemisphere, there's an impact to each. And I prefer to support my community and to help create community. So if we choose to buy the cheapest available produce, no matter what, right? We are in favor of agricultural workers being underpaid. We're in favor of people getting exploited. I'm not in favor of that. I am willing to pay more so that we can have a healthy community. It's worth it to me, and maybe I don't buy an extra pair of shoes. That's okay. I only have 2 feet, right? But it's important to me that we retain a local source of food. The land in California is incredibly expensive. The water is scarce, and housing is expensive, and so it really is very it's very tough to be a farmer in California. And if we want those local farms to remain, we want those open spaces, and especially if we want, organic agriculture, or at least environmentally responsible agriculture to thrive, we have to support it with our dollars, and that's what I do. Same thing with the oceans. I don't want to buy fish or seafood or shrimp that was caught by slave labor somewhere off the coast of South Vietnam. I don't want to do that. I want to support the local fishermen, and fish is seasonal, just like everything else. And so the salmon season just ended. I won't be eating salmon again until next spring, unless I have some frozen on hand in my freezer. But I'll be eating rockfish, and then there's locally farmed abalone, and there's really beautiful choices all year round. And in a way, your table and your menu are a lot more fun if you're not eating the same thing all year round. You're going with the season, and something, while a raw tomato salad is going to taste fantastic, and melons are going to taste fantastic in the middle of August when it's 95 degrees. When it's rainy and 40 degrees in January, you need something warm and comforting and a little heartier. So learning seasonality is really important. Then the second one you were asking me about was be willing to try new things. Be interested in things you don't know how to do. Be willing to taste things you haven't tasted before, be willing to entertain new ideas, new ways of doing things. So what I love about California is this spirit of experimentation and be open to trying new recipes and new techniques, and to learn from people from different cultural backgrounds. And so happiness is what it's about, right? That's what matters is, what am I doing today? And, am I smiling at a stranger? Am I offering one of the scones I baked for my class students to the homeless guy who's sitting on the curb, and just, am I creating an experience that people are going to remember, and that is going to warm their hearts when they're alone and maybe having a hard day. That's really important. I think when we cultivate happiness for ourselves, we also become kinder toward others, right? And the world needs a lot more kindness. It needs more of this remembering that we're only here for a short while. And so what do we want to leave behind? People will not necessarily remember what you said to them, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And so when people are in my class, I get people who have a lot of experience cooking. I get people who are brand new at it. I get people who are really outgoing and people who are shy. And so how to meet each person where they are and make them comfortable and teach them something that makes them feel successful. It's like whether it's a knife skill or a new sauce or a fancy dessert, depending on what interests them. I want them to leave feeling happy, and that's my goal in the class. So that's really key to me. Much more than teaching a technique, it's teaching a happier way of life.
I'm so touched that I have tears in my eyes just listening to your spirit come through and your commitment to leaving the world a better place. Is there anything else you would like our viewers to know in closing?
Yes, there's one thing, since this is directed to our local community. I find that most of my customers have been visitors rather than locals. So most of the people who attend my classes have been coming from all over the world, or certainly all over the country. But whenever locals attend my classes, they're blown away. And I've had people who've lived here for 30 years, and they'll tell me, wow, I shop at the farmer's market all the time, but I had no idea. I've learned so much. And they're always astonished at how much they discover coming with me of things they thought they already knew. So I really encourage locals to come with me, even if you've been shopping at the farmer's market for a long time. I'm going to show you things in that market that you've never seen before.
And I can absolutely attest to that, Laurence. It was one of the most wonderful things I've done in Santa Barbara in a very long time, and I highly, highly recommend it. And I'm one of those people who've been here for 30 years and had never experienced it, and I can't wait to do it again. So I'm so grateful to you for your contribution to our community, your passion for creating a better and a kinder world. And I just look so forward to find ways in which we can work together in creating a kinder world. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you for all you do.